It's December 7th. Welcome to our show where we will be watching and discussing the Parent-Grandparent program. Sponsorship for Canada. We're just waiting for our Facebook friends to join as well. And we are live on YouTube and Facebook at the moment, and we will be live in the future on Instagram as well. I will be going through the Parent-Grandparent sponsorship program and answering everybody's questions. If you're new to our channel or if you're not sure, the way it works is that we are 100% going to answer everyone's questions live, okay? And that means that if you have any questions, you post it in the comments section and we will answer all your questions right after this when we discuss the requirements. So we're going to go over some very basic questions, commonly asked questions about the Parent-Grandparent sponsorship. One, the program is obviously closed for 2021. 2022 it will open up again. It will not be first come first serve. So with the existing Liberal government, they will be doing a lottery system because as everybody remembers, last year they did a first come first serve. I believe the program closed in 4.5 minutes. This upset a lot of people, and there was a lot of complaints, obviously, and so they went back to the lottery system that they had before, and it's fair for everybody, right? Because a lot of people were not able to access the system. This year, they invited a whole bunch of people, up to 30,000, and they started inviting more people because they didn't have enough eligible applicants. So what is the issue here? Why are people submitting their profile online and their intention to sponsor, but they're not eligible? So there's a lot of refusals, or a lot of the ones that they don't meet the eligibility criteria. So IRCC had to come back this year in October and try again to find more applicants. So some very basic questions, some very basic notions that many people misunderstand, and it's obviously, it's not, nobody's an immigration expert all the time. So these are the common mistakes. Okay, so A, if you don't meet the minimum income requirement to sponsor a parent or both parents or grandparent or grandparents, then don't bother applying. Okay, there's no exception. This is the golden rule. There's no exception. So you can't be like, oh, I didn't meet the 3 years income level for the past year, but this year I'm upgrading my income. Like, let's say you're in 2022, right? And maybe you can take the average. There is no such thing. They look at your CRA notice of assessment, okay? They look at each year of the previous year. So when you're doing 2022, in 2022 the program will open again. We believe anytime around March, April, it should be back up, and they will look at your 2021 income, declared income, your 2022, 2021, 2020, and 2019. There is no exception. You can't be like, oh, well, I made this money on the side, or maybe 1 year I had a problem. No, there is no exception to the rule, and this is where everybody makes a mistake. Okay, can your spouse or partner co-sponsor with you? Yes, but be careful. An undertaking for a family member is 20 years. So if your spouse or partner who you're living with, let's say common law or spouse, has already sponsored somebody else, then their income level will have to be deducted for that sponsorship. So you can't use all of their income to help with your income to meet that minimum income level, right? So again, basic notion, folks. You're a Canadian and you live in Canada. If you're non-resident Canadian, then forget it. You should intend to be in Canada when you're sponsoring your parents, and it's a PR stream, right? So a lot of people ask me, hey Reza, what should I do while I wait for my parents to be selected through the lottery or for their PRs to be processed, which takes about 2 years. right? After they're selected, you meet as the sponsor the eligibility criteria, and their PR is under process, right? So we have cases right now that are under process for approximately a year, and we believe there will be another like 8 to 12 months left for our clients to have their parents or grandparents approved and come into Canada. So you apply for a super visa. That's the basics of it, right? So your parents want to be with you, but you haven't been selected for the parent-grandparent sponsorship lottery, or you're not eligible right now. So you get a super visa, or they were selected, you are processing. Can you apply for a super visa for them to be with you inside of Canada while they wait for their PR, or while they wait to be selected through the lottery? Yes, of course. Those are mutually exclusive. So you can have your parents here 2 years at a time under a super visa. And remember, you can apply for a super visa from outside of Canada, not from inside. Under specific COVID policies, it was possible, but before COVID, after COVID, I don't know if there is an after COVID, though it has to be applied from outside. So yes, you can have a super visa and you can be in the lottery and or apply for their PR if you're selected, right? Very typical mistakes, everyone. Very typical mistakes people do is the income. It's mainly the income. Plus, a little bit of the fine print is if you were on social welfare before COVID, right? If you were on COVID subsidies, which converted to employment for a certain time period, the government has exempted that, and they've lowered their income level requirements, right, to support that. But let's say 5 years ago, 6 years ago, you were on social welfare. That's a red flag. That can potentially refuse your application. So you need to have a game plan on that, right? So that's something. If you've got certain criteria that makes you ineligible, remember, even if you do have the minimum income, but you don't meet the other criteria, it can be refused. A lot of people make a lot of mistakes on these, basically on the eligibility. Filling out the forms is easy. Setting up your name in the system to be selected through the lottery is easy. But the fact to meet all the eligibility requirements so you can proceed with the PR and your PR to be approved for your parents, grandparents, that's where everybody makes the mistake. That's why IRCC came back this year and did a second round of selection from the lottery. So that's a fact. Next year, last year was like around February, March, they were opening it up. I think March, April would be a good time to look for the new 2022 program. It will be still the lottery. The income levels will be adjusted again for 2021, inflation adjusted, and the eligibility criteria will remain the same. The new immigration minister will not make many significant changes, at least for this program. They will not make it harder. They will not make it much easier. This is what it is. Okay, so if you're meeting the minimum income requirements, you can do that. And remember, folks, if you didn't declare your income, or if you have lower income, you can always go back to the CRA and say, I want to make an adjustment to my income for the past whatever years. I made a mistake. Of course, the government would love to have your money, so they're going to accept that, and you can uptick your income and meet the eligibility requirement. Well, if you're willing to pay those extra taxes and the interest for that, let's say, delayed declaration or adjustment, talk to your CPA, talk to your accountant, talk to your tax consultant. It's 100% possible. It costs money, but hey, if you're really keen on bringing in your parents and grandparents, that's what the point will be, is that you need to meet the minimum income requirements plus the rest of the eligibility regarding, for Canadians who are planning to sponsor their parents or grandparents, okay? And their dependents, by the way, too. So if you've got parents, grandparents who have children under the age of 22, then those would be also included, So, okay, let's look at this and let's look at some questions, right? So we've done the parent-grandparent, commonly asked questions, typical mistakes. We are going now into the mode where we will answer your live questions. So if you watch this video and you're wondering whatever is Reza doing now, during our live sessions on Tuesdays, 9 a.m., 5 p.m., our viewers come in and post their questions on the comment section and we answer them live. Okay, so if you don't want to watch this, stop watching, go to our other videos. But now we're getting into the live session. Okay, so we're going to go one by one in order. Nobody gets a special pass on jumping the line in questions. And remember, folks, please press the like button as soon as I answer your question. Okay, I would love that, because we need a little bit more engagement from folks. Thank you for that in advance. We're here to help you. Remember, we are here today to help you. Kartik said, I finally got my passport after 1 month. Thank you, Kartik. Congratulations. We're very happy, and it was going to be done, right? I mean, it was just a matter of time. You just have to be a little bit patient. Nasrin Ibrahimi says, hi back to you. Nasrin Ibrahimi, thanks for joining us. Priscilla Ifunaya Okafor says, hi back, Priscilla. Nice to see you online. Wubalem Sisai, hello. Any news about spouse permanent resident? The program hasn't changed. It's always open, right? The processing usually takes a year. During COVID, there's been delays. Specific cases take longer. So if you are inside Canada sponsoring partner or spouse, it would have been processed faster. Still slow, but faster than from outside of Canada. And certain tricky cases take even longer. Okay, but usually 1 year to 15 months you should hear back on medicals or criminality, or they're checking further on your relationship, right? So 12 to 15 months should be a typical timeline. Bedrose is asking a question. Hi Reza, literally just this morning I got an answer about my study permit application being refused for the winter intake for financial reasons. Even the info, I have paid my tuition and accommodation fee. So Bedrose is continuing and stated 46,000 Canadian dollars in my bank statement. What would you suggest I do now? My second semester is offline and I starts on January 10th. Can I appeal this decision to a federal court? Of course, you can appeal any kind of government decision. But the important part is it worth spending that money, right? Because it can cost up to $5,000 or more just for the first stage. We do a lot of refusal appeals and reapplications. So Bedros continues on saying, quite frankly, the reason for refuse is a bit unfair. It's very typical, Bedros, so don't worry. This is a very typical refusal reason. My family and I are very lost as to what to do next. Can I apply for a tourist visa so I can at least be there for my second semester? No, that's not a good idea. It will be refused, okay? And Bedros continues to say, process in under a month. I applied to study at George Brown College in Toronto. P.S. I paid the full academic year. Okay, Bedros, if you can just remind me, folks, I have bad memory. Okay, long-term memory, it's horrible. I have to improve it. If anybody has any advice, please let me know. So Bedros, tell me again, what is your nationality, where you're residing? So wherever you're residing, what passport are you using to apply, and how old you are? Okay, and what was the last time you had a degree, your graduation, your last graduation of any kind of degree, diploma, certificate, and as well, if you were employed in the country where you're residing right now. Are you currently employed, and what is your employment? If you give me those, I can tell you, okay, this works. And then travel history. And by the way, guys and everyone, we're actually talking about refusals in today's afternoon session with Laura. So if you have refusals, you have family and friends who got refused, we're talking exactly about this in today's YouTube afternoon session. So that's one. Kartik said, I found one mistake in my application. My date of birth is wrong by 4 days. So should I tell it at the port of entry? I'm afraid they may refuse me entry. So should I tell them my upcoming PGWP application? Yeah, I mean, Kartik, I would suggest to do it through an online portal, okay, after you arrive, okay, and then updating it in your new, application, whether it's a study permit renewal or a postgraduate work permit. Dealing with CBSA, they're very busy and sometimes they get frustrated, and maybe they didn't have their coffee in the morning, so you don't want to deal with that. Kehinde Fafowora. Please, what's the update with HCCP caregiver decision? Okay, it's very slow. We're getting a lot of complaints and comments on that, Kehinde, that nothing is being processed. We're not seeing any progress, both inside and outside of Canada. I think they've basically put all those files aside and they're processing the Afghanistan asylum seekers and PRs. That's my thought about it, because there's specific immigration programs right now that are just not doing anything. All the files are just sitting there, and that's one of them. Bedros, I had applied the first time for a study permit this summer and it got refused for financial reasons. I applied again in October with stronger financial and it got rejected again. Yes, it's very typical, Bedros. Okay, exact same reason. Navroz Babu, dear Reza, Jackie, love you from India. Love back to you as well, Navroz. Folks, every time I would appreciate it if you put a like, if you like the video, if I answer your question, or we have this live indirect discussion. Would love everybody to give us a like. We're at Ghana Shyam. Hi, thank you so much for the information. I have applied for my visitor visa on November. It's already a month now. I haven't heard anything. I wrote them, but they didn't respond. What should I do? I assume, Ganai Shyam, that you apply through the new portal. And the new portal, the processing can be from 2 days to 2 months. Okay, so they are processing it. I would say in the next 45 days you should receive a response, and it depends on the reasoning and your eligibility to visit Canada as well. But be a little bit patient. Right now IRCC is a bit slow with everything. Peter Mark, hello, watching from Jeddah. Hello, Peter from Jeddah. It's a tough place to be working and living, but I get it. I used to live in the GCC as well. You have to have, you guys have, you have hot weather there right now. Right now we've got like -5 here. But yeah, good to see you. Folks, I would love everybody to put a like on this video while you're watching. It doesn't require a lot of effort. It just shows that, I'm doing the right thing. If you're unhappy, don't like it. If you're happy, like it. So Akrom Ruziev is saying, hi Reza, why a federal skilled worker candidate cannot reside in Quebec? Our federal laws are weaker than provincial ones. No, Akram. So Quebec, actually, so this goes into a little history of Canada, has a different agreement with the Canadian government. It's like semi-autonomous. Okay, so in a lot of things, taxes, so it's not just immigration. Quebec, I'm the worst person with Canadian history. If I did a citizenship test, I would fail miserably. Okay, I'm coming out and saying that. If you like that comment, please like this video. So the point is, at a certain time when all the provinces signed an agreement amongst themselves to form this federal government, Quebec didn't. They had a separate agreement. So they are autonomous with their taxes, with their immigration, and a whole bunch of other things, right? So that's why federal programs like Express Entry don't apply for Quebec. Quebec has its own programs which trump the federal programs. The only part in terms of the selection. So the point is that the federal government concentrates on all the other provinces and helping facilitate their immigration streams. Quebec is responsible for its own selection, and then the PR is done federally, right? So Express Entry doesn't overlap. So it's not that who's weaker, who's not. It's just the agreement that it's been in place for that long from the beginning when these provinces and when these agreements were put in place. I'm the worst person to ask these history and political questions, by the way. Akram Ruziev says, hi Reza. Yeah, so we answered that question. So folks, if I answer your question, I would love you to put a like on this video. Peter Mark, is New Brunswick 4 colleges for New Pathway international students safe to study because there's no PGWP? Only, Peter, if you meet the eligibility criteria of the program, right? Exactly. So if they say these 29 occupations, it has to be in that. in March, April, they're going to launch the details of it because nobody knows the details. Whatever you read online is just theory. And if you meet that, then it's safe if you meet the eligibility. But don't just go in there and be like, oh, do I meet it now, or get your letter of admission now? Because what if you don't meet the eligibility? What if there's a little bit of a twist or turn to it? We don't know. And the prices for those private colleges are similar to or even higher than some of the public colleges that we work with in the Atlantic provinces. So I put a post in our social media about a month ago. It's in Spanish and English on the advantages and disadvantages of that program. And it's not for everyone. So if you want to, I don't know, study digital marketing, it's not for you. So it has to be in those 29 occupations, and there's other criteria that they will announce in the next 3-4 months. Peter Mark, these are no PGWP. Yes, of course, they're all private colleges. So thanks for the like, whoever did that. Love that. Tammy Ann Price. Hi, Reza. Do you have any idea what is going on with online sponsorship application, especially for Outland, acknowledgements of residency, or mostly given to Inland? So right now, Inland is faster than the Outland. So sponsorship, I'm not sure if you're talking about parents and grandparents, it's under process. The process is usually 2 years. For spouses, common law, conjugal partnerships, inside is faster, outside is a bit slower. Next year, hopefully, they will speed up because the Afghanistan issue hopefully would have been a little bit processed and sorted out and freeing up some resources. Priscilla Ifunaya Okafor. Hello, Reza. I applied for my family visitor visa in May and no response till date. What should I do? If it's a visitor visa and you meet the new criteria, just go through the new portal. Forget the old application. You probably won't get your money back. Go to the new portal, okay, and reapply. Navros, and again, I don't know if you'll be refused or accepted. You have to be careful with your application. Remember that. Depending on your nationality, ties to home country, purpose of visit, and family ties in both Canada and outside. Navros Babu says, Dear Sweet Reza Jackie, if an international student gets refused PR, then will he continue to be in Canada or needs to come back to his home country? Please need your explanation. Thanks. Okay, so Navros, if somebody has a study permit or a visitor visa or work permit inside of Canada and they apply for PR, the PR is refused. As long as their status with the study permit, visa, or work permit is valid, they stay until that and they can renew based on that. So those are mutually exclusive. So if you have a study permit that's valid for another 2 years, or postgraduate work permit, or another year, and your PR is refused today, you just go back to being that student. You never change status until the PR is done. Your status is still temporary. Okay, so you don't have to go back if the status hasn't changed, and if it's expiring, you can attempt to renew. Okay. Ganai Shyam says, I'm Indian, but I'm in residence in Denmark. I applied for my visitor visa from Denmark. I'm so frustrated they didn't respond. Oh, I remember that, Ganai Shyam. You applied very recently, but again, it's a bit slow, so give it some time, okay? Give it another 45 days. In the meantime, do send the embassy direct emails, not web forms. We officially came to the conclusion yesterday that nobody's looking at web forms in IRCC, okay? That is our conclusion after the last 6 months or 4 months of seeing what the situation is. We've come to the conclusion nobody's looking at web forms. Voila, that's our 2 cents of the fact. Folks, do press the like. Thanks for everybody who's done it so far. Bedros, I'm a dual Armenian Syrian. A dual citizen of Armenia and Syria. I applied out of Kuwait. I'm 17. I have almost completed my first semester of George Brown. I've never traveled to Canada before. Bedros, potentially you could be a good case for a judicial review. Okay, it does cost a lot of money, but it's in stages, and it has to see what your chances are of being sort of, you know, of a successful appeal, because you just don't want to spend money and appeal for the sake of just appealing. You have to have a winning case. So if you like, contact us and we can review and propose to you for our judicial review if you need to. If you can do it on your own or you have somebody, no problem. Good luck to you, but yeah, don't just reapply right now. You will be refused. And I think the reason is because in the GCC you're a temporary resident. They're looking at your ties to your home countries. Okay, it's a tough one, and you know the nationalities is tough, and I'm from the Middle East, so I understand. Kartik, I think my dad wrong date my birthday by 4 days. He had any fatal to my status. I was thinking about to update it in my PGL, or if I decide to apply my dad visitor visa. Yeah, don't worry. Whenever you're inside Canada, update it. Okay. Kartik, does CBSA ask about next year fees? I'm under SDS, paid 1 year. No. They just check that. Can you speak English? Because a lot of people, they fake their IELTS. Angela G, hi Reza, how are you? Hi Angel, sorry, my eyesight is going too. Thanks everyone for doing the likes. It's perfect. I got 11 likes. Kartik says, okay, then we got Angel G saying hi back Angel, thanks for joining us today. Don't forget to like us. Peter Mark says, oh, that's awesome, sir, thanks for your greetings. No worries, always welcome, good to see you online. Kartik, we can say Quebec is a child who never complies with the father's commands. Yeah, Quebec is a great place. I lived there for 2 years, but a lot of respect for Quebec and its people, a lot of friends and family there, but I would not live there. As an immigrant, as a non-francophone, if somebody paid me $100,000, I would not go live there. Okay, I hope the Quebec government is not listening now. Bedros, and by the way, Reza, it doesn't matter how expensive a judicial review could be. I just want to know if it would be completed within a month. No way. Nothing would be completed in a month, even if you did a study permit. Maybe you get refused a third time within a month, but forget it, Bedros. If you're rushed for a second semester, and I think I told you this, that's risky, studying while you don't have a study permit, and you were refused once. Kartik, Reza, I'm coming to you after 16 months with my PGWP application. Kartik, just make sure you follow the regulations, you don't skip classes, you have a good attendance, and you don't do anything unusual. But yeah, you're welcome. We'd love to see you. We'd love to help you out. David Kwamina, do you know what happened now with application sponsorships out of Canada, in immigration, Canada and Mexico? Because I wait for 2 years for an interview. It depends. For sponsorship, for a spousal or partner common law sponsorship or conjugal sponsorship, David, usually it takes a year. During COVID, it's being pushed to 18 months sometimes for Outland, right? So it's about close to what you have, but I would say push hard. Okay, so this is what happened with one of our cases. It was slow, nothing was happening. So the sponsoring spouse or conjugal partner actually applied for visitor visa for that applicant, right? And was pushing, hey, I need a decision. And what happened is they didn't decide on the visitor visa. They even refused it, but they came back on the actual sponsorship PR case and said, we've got these concerns. So you gotta push them, okay? My spouse is from Honduras. Yeah, that's fine. We deal with Mexico, Honduras. I'm quite familiar. But you have to push. If it's been 2 years, no news, push hard. Emails, apply for a visitor visa, push them to their limit. This is what we do. So you kind of put your finger in there. It's like a thing, you want them to wake up. Navroz Babu, dear Reza, Jackie, it's astonishing to hear that even you got hunted by Quebec. I wasn't hunted. Thanks for everybody for liking the video. Come on, folks, like the video. It's great, it's just your way of showing that I'm doing the right thing. If I'm not, then tell me right away. Peter Mark is Atlantic immigration program will last many years. Thanks, Reza. More power. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many years. It depends on the governments too, right? Right now, this liberal government will be in for at least another 3 years at least. So we expect the Atlantic immigration program. It's not AIPP anymore. It's not a pilot. It's actually permanent. But again, immigration programs change all the time. But for the next 3 years, I don't expect any major changes. Maybe there'll be more flexibility. Remember, everybody, Nova Scotia does have a new program to allow a lot of low and medium skilled workers coming in based on employer job offers without an LMIA. So the Atlantic provinces are very aggressive on immigration. Pedro says, the weird thing is that I have uploaded certificate of real estate rights belonging to my family, meaning that I have literally shown proof that I have strong ties to my home country. I know, Pedro, sometimes it's just unfair. Sometimes it's discrimination based on nationality. And when you're applying from Saudi, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, a whole bunch of those GCCs, I don't know if those were most of them, you're typically a non-resident, right? And it goes against you, and a lot of people get refused. Pedro said, a place to go back to once my permit expires. Yeah, I understand and I empathize with that, and we know, and a lot of people do get refused like that. But within a month, nothing will happen except maybe another refusal if you reapply. Jesse Joseph, my son, take 1 year course so his wife's spouse visa not get. Okay. So Jesse Joseph, you're saying reply please, but so my son, okay, he got a 1 year course, his wife's spouse visa is not getting. So he's here already in a study permit, or he has a study permit that's approved, he's outside and he's waiting for his spouse to join him. You gotta give me some more details, Jesse. Priscilla Ifunanya Okafor. Hi Reza, what's the guarantee of reapplying for family visitor visas, and how long will it take for approval? I'm applying from Nigeria. There's no guarantee, Priscilla. It's really up to the officer and your profile, right? Their profile, your profile. Each case is very different. There's no guarantee on anything. If you've got a great profile, if your family, everything, the application is good, yeah, good chances. If not, then yeah, of course, it can be refused. There's no guarantee with immigration. There's no guarantee with IRCC ever for any program. So Angel G, what is the best time to apply to college for May 2022 intake? Right now, you should have applied already, Angel G. So if you don't know, you should apply ASAP. Why? Because the programs are becoming full, right? So if you wanted to pick a specific program, all the best programs are going to be filled quickly, and then you'll be stuck with a couple programs that maybe weren't your first choice. So we are doing applications right now for September even 2022. Not that there's no programs for May, but I'm just saying if you want to have a good selection of programs, I would say apply ASAP. And by the way, everybody, we do admissions. We have a dedicated education team. If you reach out to us, they can help with admission, not a problem. Bedros, so how long does a judicial review take to be complete? So Bedros, previously we've seen 4 to 6 months. With COVID, I would say minimum 6 months right now. And it's a and that's the first stage. 4 to 6 months, the first stage. If you go to court, it will be another 6 months. Okay, so you're looking at the first stage and the second stage approximately 1 year. I know it's a long time, but these are the courts. Okay, this is no joke. These are federal courts. Now, Rose Babu, thanks a ton, Sweet Reza Jackie, for your detailed explanation. No problem. Keep on liking this video, folks. We need that those likes to go up if you think this is useful for you. If you think this is not useful, then you can watch Netflix, you can watch the Friends show, or you can watch a couple of funny YouTube videos about Donald Trump. Okay, but if this is useful, press that like button. Thanks everyone. Kartik, hope Omicron don't screw up the plans. I am landing on December 15th. Do you guys deal with US visitor visa? I was thinking about applying it after 1 semester study permit to have to stroll in the US. Kartik, we do, but it's expensive. Like, you know, it's in the thousands. There's a lot of offices that can do a lower priced visitor visa for US for a few $100s, I think. So go with those. Our US services are a little bit more on the expensive side for investors and stuff. Peter Mark, thanks, you're amazing. I'm literally happy of your reply. Adorable, thumbs up. Thanks, Peter, appreciate it. Thanks for the appreciation, and we're here to help you. Remember, we're here to guide our applicants, our viewers from inside, outside. No matter if you're Canadian, not Canadian, you're inside, you're outside, whatever you want to do, we're here to help you. Kartik, my study permit refusal are a result of Chinook system, which I have heard your result depends on your batch. Well, it is. There's more information on Chinook that one of the industry experts that I'm in touch with is looking into it even more. So it's still we're still finding out about this Chinook system. It's still very black hole-ish, you know. Angel G, like the video, guys. Yeah, thanks, Angel G. Like the video, like the video. Ayomi-kun Toluhi. Hello, Reza. My brother in Canada sent a mail to the local member of parliament. How long will it wait till they reply? Also, how guaranteed is it that they will help me? Well, it depends on the application. If it was a PR or sponsorship, and he should call them. So not just email, call them, leave them a voicemail. If they're conservative, they may not be so receptive. So try to go for Liberal or NDP. But again, I have no political alignments, everyone. I'm just saying they're a little bit more receptive for immigration cases. But I'm not sure exactly what it is. Just Bedros, so what do you advise me to do, Reza? Bedros, if you really want to come to Canada, forget the next semester. Withdraw. If you really want to come to Canada, you have to only consider judicial review. I'm sorry about the bad news, but if you reapply again, it's a guaranteed refusal. I know I mentioned there's no such thing as guaranteed, but this one is guaranteed refusal. And if you want to forget Canada and just apply for another country, remember these 2 refusals will be on your history of your file for all countries to see: Europe, UK, Australia, US. So you have to fix this. That's my, forget the next semester. You have, this is a long-term grind. Okay. Jesse Joseph, December IL course completed. How can done? So Jesse Joseph, your first question, my son took a 1-year course. Now his wife is not getting. And then December IL course completed. How can done? Like it video news done. Like it video news done. Yeah, Jesse Joseph, I'm just having a bit tricky figuring out what your exact question is. Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly the question. Like, is it your son's wife, or is it your son? Just tell me, just tell me in keywords: visa refused or waiting for visa. Just tell me this. And is it the wife or the son? Inside Canada, outside. Just tell me keywords. Don't write sentences. Peter Mark, thanks. Kartik, love your honesty, Reza. No problem, Kartik. We're here to be honest. Jesse Joseph, like it video. Thank you. Kartik, you should turn on super chat so we can appreciate your work. Yeah, I'm a little bit technically backward. So I have to ask my colleagues who are more technical to put on the super chat so we can appreciate your work. Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm pretty clueless about social media and these systems. My colleagues are setting it up. But folks, we're gonna wrap up now. Jesse Joseph, we will be back this afternoon at 5 p.m. We are talking about refusals. The next video is about refusals and what to do next. Okay, folks? And remember, if you tuned in to watch about parents, grandparent commonly asked questions and mistakes, then go back to the first 7-8 minutes of this video. The rest of it was our live. T Nick Queen, you're doing a great job. Thanks, T Nick. Press like if you think we're doing a great job. Thanks everybody for supporting us here. And again, we're here to help you. Tuesdays are allocated to help our viewers from inside out, no matter what nationality you are. Here, we're all one, right? I mean, to be honest with you, it doesn't matter how old you are, where you're from, how much money you have, you don't have, your nationality, your residency. This is where we unite and we help each other. Radha Mehta, when November 2019 Express Entry Draw will get their PR next year, Radha. Peter Mar, see you, Superman. Thanks, Peter. See you, Karta. I'm going for culinary. I heard Alberta gives PNP to those. Every Nova Scotia is good. Every province is in lack of culinary right now, Kartik. Don't move to Alberta because of that. Nova Scotia, I mean, every single province has a lack of cooks. We are working with employers ourselves who need to hire cooks. Culinary is hardcore demand everywhere. How many stages in the judicial review? Bedrose, it's 1 stage, and if the Department of Justice does not settle, it goes to federal court in front of a judge. That's the first hearing. In case it goes to a second hearing, that could be, typically it doesn't. So usually two stages, but it could go on and on forever. But 80% of all cases are done within the first 2 stages. Okay, again, we would never do a judicial review before reviewing and making sure it's a winning case. We cannot guarantee, but we want to make sure you actually have some good chances. Thanks everyone. We'll be back 5 p.m. today with a Spanish-English session with my colleague Laura, and we will talk about refusals and what to do next. If you have any suggestions, please tell us what you'd like us to talk about in the next week's videos. Take care. Have a good day, night, morning, wherever you are. We will see you soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye now. Did I stop the stream? Oh, I didn't stop the stream. I'm so stupid.